Welcome, everyone. My name is Peter Hackett. I am the Global Program Director for Cypher. For today's LinkedIn Live session, we are going to discuss the results of a recent investigation that Cypher conducted on the dark web. I am pleased to have with us today Scott Krosky, who is our Global Chief Information Security Officer, as well as Fernando Amate, who is our Director of Red Team Services in Cypher Latin America. Fernando joins us today from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Fernando, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. And about you, gentlemen?
Doing well, Fernando. Just trying to stay safe and healthy in these challenging times that we're all living in. So, for our viewers out there today, I just want to let everyone know that we're going to be answering your questions live today. So, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section of this LinkedIn Live session, and we will answer them later in the presentation. So, let's get started. The deep web and dark web are popular terms that are used by many companies and industries today. Scott, what exactly is the deep web and dark web, and what does it mean exactly in terms of, from a cybersecurity perspective?
Well, Pete, so these terms are used to describe how information is available on the internet. So to understand these terms, we must add one additional to the list, which is the clear web. So the clear web consists of the sections of the internet that are easily available. Search engines such as Google, Yahoo, and Bing continuously scan the internet and index websites and web applications. So if you can find content through a simple search engine search, such as Google, you can consider it as part of the clear web. So in short, the clear web contains all publicly available information. So the deep web refers to those sections of the internet that are not accessible or indexed by web crawlers and search engines. So since these parts of the internet are not publicly available, they require some level of access restrictions. For example, your online bank accounts or on-demand video services such as Netflix are on the internet, but they require a level of authentication by individuals before access is granted. So these are just some examples of the deep web. Now, the dark web, that is a subcomponent of the deep web, which has additional access restrictions. So there's specific security controls in place in order for individuals to access parts of the dark web. And in most cases, the use of anonymized and encrypted communications is required to access the dark web, such as the Onion Router, or better known by its acronym Tor. So this provides a layer of privacy for individuals who access the dark web. Additionally, access controls are typically in place which limit access to certain dark websites to only those individuals who have authorized accounts to actually gain access to those sites. So the dark web has definitely gained a reputation as a haven for illegal activities, to include cyber criminals who communicate and share stolen information. So as such, Cypher Red Team members must frequently visit the dark web to gather intelligence and to help protect their customers. And just as a reminder for the viewers that are just tuning in, we are going to answer your questions live today. So feel free to post any questions you have in the comment section of this live session, and we will answer them later in the presentation.
Scott, thanks for that explanation. So let's dive into this topic with Fernando, shall we? So Fernando, just as a director for Red Team Services in Cypher Latin America, can you give our viewers an overview of your job responsibilities?
Yes. Nowadays, I'm responsible for a group of security experts, and we provide all over the world activities like penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, vulnerability management, code review, and training, helping developers to be more proactive, and also some kind of investigation like this that we will show today.
Thank you, Fernando. So before we dive into the topic of the investigation on the COVID-19 on the dark web, I wanted to ask you, as our senior penetration tester and offensive security guru, I'm curious, what do you believe is the most frequently exploited vulnerability during your engagements?
I will tell you about two: misconfiguration and software issues.
Okay, great. And how should IT managers and IT admins address this issue?
First of all, they must know their own environment. So it's important to have asset management, configuration management, patch management, vulnerability management, and also training.
Okay, great. And just as a reminder, again, we're going to be answering everyone's questions live today. So feel free to post any comments that you have in the comment section of this LinkedIn Live session, and we'll answer them again in this presentation. So let us change topics and focus a little bit on your recent dark web investigation. How exactly do you get onto the dark web?
There's the difficult way, let's say, for example, in my side over here, I have a Raspberry Pi configured to be a Tor relay, and also I have Firefox configured to put all traffic to this relay. The easy way will be going to the torproject.org. I will share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
So it's, yes, let's go. Yes. So from here you can download the whole package with all the tools that you need to browse the deep web, well configured web browser for privacy and things like that. But the problem, I think, could not be the problem, but it's a little bit different. How to use this kind of software? Okay, you could use for privacy and navigating all kinds of websites that you'd like. But when you talk about Tor and deep web, the addresses are a little bit different. Let me show you. For example, you have a combination of 16 characters long or 53 characters long that it's almost impossible to remember by the top of your mind. Okay, some of them looks like beautiful, but some of them are not. So people must have this written down or in a kind of bookmark telling you for where you are going or where you're going from or going to. Okay.
Thank you, Fernando. So what first led you to the dark web to research COVID-19 related scams?
I think every time, everything that happened in the world could be opportunity for criminals to do their activities and or to monetize it. And so, for example, it's common to see scams with dead or naked actors or people that everything see in TV. And I thought that the pandemic and the COVID-19 will be one of the best opportunity for the bad guys to do some kind of different stuff. And so I started to investigate it.
And what kind of products or services are being offered on the dark web for COVID-19? And as a follow-up to that, are they credible?
I can't guarantee you, because as we are navigating in a network where privacy is the most important thing, I really don't know who is the other side of the keyboard or the other side of the world selling this kind of that product. I will show you some interesting stuff. For example, there's someone that is selling COVID-19 vaccine. So this website is from the beginning of the pandemic, and if all of you hear the radio or the TV, will see that the health companies are working hard to have the vaccine. How this guy have the vaccine and offer to us? So it's even if you have a problem, a health problem, if you have concerns about it, I don't recommend you to buy this kind of stuff, because you really don't know who is behind. You can buy in the best situation water, but you can buy something that can kill you. So I will not, even in the worst situation, I will not buy this kind of stuff.
And just as a reminder for our viewers, we're going to answer your questions in this LinkedIn session live today, but just so feel free to post any comments in this session, and we will answer them later in the presentation. So, so Fernando, did you come across any personal protective equipment sales, or what about cleaning solutions? I know that since the pandemic hit our area in New York, we haven't been able to find any Lysol wipes. How often do you think people fall vulnerable to these type of scams?
We had an interesting situation in United States where people run to buy all toilet papers in the markets. So people can believe in anything. Over here, for example, I have a web page that I'm showing to you that there are people selling masks. The vendor have very concerned about us because they tell that he is official supplier for hospitals, and they are only trying to help normal people to have good stuff. So if you see over here, we are seeing the best masks in the market that he's selling. I really don't know if the price is good or not, but he delivers worldwide. Okay, GTL, okay, it's good. So to prove that they're not criminals and it was not a robbery product, they reinforce that he's official supplier for hospitals.
So, Fernando, have you seen any evidence of businesses falling victim to these types of scams, or do they seem to be targeting individual consumers?
Yes, let's see. I have from the first one. I started investigation and I saw that no one bought nothing until now. And this second one, we have 2 transactions. So someone bought or at least tried to buy this kind of stuff.
Let's talk about payment methods. Why do we always hear about cryptocurrency being used as a transaction method on the dark web?
The Bitcoin is the most used coin, and they use this kind of situation or this kind of cryptocurrency because the privacy, also the privacy. So when you do this some kind of transaction, you deliver money for what we call wallet. This is a cryptocurrency wallet. So I really don't know who's receiving and where in the world is the people that's receiving this kind of stuff. They use this for anonymity. Yes.
Scott, do you have any questions for Fernando?
I do, and actually, I think we have a question that had come in here as well too from the audience. Bill, if you want to throw that. Okay, so Fernando, what other things do you come across in the dark web other than scams? It's a good question.
Other than scams, we have I think all the stuff that we can find in the clear web, we can find in the dark web also. The dark web only give us, or the bad guys, the criminals, a layer of protection. But we have some marketplaces specifics for credit card dumpings, for drugs, and things like that. It's not impossible to find this on the clear web, but it's a little more difficult.
Understood. Okay, so we've talked about these scams on the dark web, but I know that they also happen all the time on the clear web. When we speak about disinformation, we talk about information that is false and deliberately created to harm a group, person, an organization, or even a country. Have you come across any of these scams or disinformation campaigns on the clear web?
Yes, I saw some marketplace in Brazil where people start trying to sell those products related to COVID-19, but I think the companies are aware of this kind of situation and are taking off as soon as possible the products, the sellers and things like that. They have very concern about it, and this is good. But also I see some interesting situations. For example, there are some markets on the dark web that they have the same concern, and they bans yes, my screen bans the sale of fake COVID-19 vaccine. Okay, and this marketplace, it's strange when you talk about some criminals that are selling. I'll give you an example. This marketing sell drugs and other things like that. So cannabis, opioids and things. So they put advisor that telling, I don't need to tell you what COVID-19 is. So they have concern about their users. They have some kind of ethics, okay? And this is very interesting to see.
No, very good, very good. And actually, so there's actually another good question that came in from a viewer right now. Diogo had asked, is there a pattern you can identify between these types of scams? Sometimes it's a little difficult, I believe. What in your experience, yeah?
Difficult when you're investigating. As I told you before, the bad guys, the criminals, they are only waiting for opportunities. So everyone who dies or who appears naked, they will get this kind of opportunity. Most of the time, the same group, the same gang is responsible for the same kind of stuff that they are offering in case of malware or things like that. I was not able to do so deep and to verify how their groups are related or how their products are related all over the world. But I think there's some link between them.
Understood, understood. Okay, very good. So let's go back now to the disinformation piece that we were talking about. So obviously the lifespan of disinformation remaining on the clear web tends to be short-lived, especially since that many companies online are actively putting controls in place to identify and remove information that violates the site's terms. So while disinformation can reach a much larger audience, it won't stay available for nearly as long because it will eventually be taken down. So what other advantages or disadvantages could come from scammers posting this type of disinformation on the clear web?
In the clear web, I think there is a disadvantage because it's easily to try attribution. So when you go to the deep web that offers better privacy, the attribution is much more difficult and sometimes almost impossible.
Understood. Yeah, okay, very good. Thanks, Fernando. So Pete, did you have any other questions for Fernando today?
Yeah, actually I do, Scott. Fernando, can you walk us through one or two examples of how we have helped our customers through our web team, through our red team services?
Yes, used to do tests before the bad guys do it. So we can help the companies to identify their problems, their issues, and help the company to fix it. And in case of problem, we can also help the company investigating what's happening and how it happened, and close the doors to not let this help again.
Fernando, thank you so much for your time today. This has been extremely informative. I'm really looking forward to our next LinkedIn Live session. And for any of our viewers who are interested in our red team services, please reach out to us via our marketing department, which can be reached at marketing@cypher.com.